At the end of each flight, the captain is responsible for completing a voluntary report detailing any events that occurred during the flight. This task can sometimes be straightforward and other times challenging, especially when it involves subtle cues like a fleeting feeling or a light briefly blinking. Let's take the example of John Smith, a captain on an Airbus A320, and how he can benefit from using Pilot My Flights.
My name is John Smith. I provided the airline with the username and password I want to use to privately access the Pilot My Flights application from anywhere via the internet. For this example, I chose the username Zorro7 and a password with a minimum of 6 characters, which I will not disclose. At the end of each flight, assuming my aircraft is equipped with the UQAR from FDT, which allows for rapid flight data transmission, the data from my flight is automatically processed by the Express-A Dynamic FDM Foquet solution used by my airline's safety team. This allows me, if needed, to connect to the Express-A database immediately after my flight to verify the flight safety automation and identify any events during the flight. Some of these events I may already be aware of, while others might be brief and easily missed. Once my credentials are entered, I can access the statistics database for the flights on which I was the pilot. In this first example, you can see that my last flight was on aircraft Airbus 320, departing on July 9th from Lima Mike Sierra Echo to Mike Delta Zulu Lima. The entire line is green, indicating that my flight had no deviations. Everything on the aircraft side was fine. While I may have additional events to report, they are unrelated to piloting techniques or aircraft alarms. The flights listed are separated by white lines. When Express-A automatically detects one or more events, it displays a line for each detected event and assigns a color based on the severity of the alarm. For example, a line will appear in pink for significant events like a hard landing or excessive speed on the taxiway. Otherwise, it will be displayed in yellow for less critical events, such as slightly low oil pressure for 5 minutes before departure. To get more details about an automatically detected event, I simply scroll to the right to see during which flight phase the event was detected, the severity level of the event, a description of the event, and even the parameters related to it. This information is valuable to me in accurately completing my voluntary report at the end of the flight. Pilot My Flights helps me perform my job more effectively. Remember, I can only see the flights I piloted. I don't have access to my colleagues' flights. By providing more information in my voluntary report, I facilitate the work of the flight safety team, who will receive my comments on the detected events. On my end, I can also use the tool later to check the safety team's assessment of the events. For instance, if I'm relaxing on a weekend and wonder how the safety team assessed a specific event, I can use any device with internet access, smartphone, tablet, laptop, or desktop, to connect to the Express-A of my airline. While I'm in front of the Pilot My Flights user interface, I can also select the Dashboard button, where I can view my personal dashboard and performance metrics. I can see the number of flights I piloted, processed quarter by quarter. This data dynamically changes if I enter different dates in the From and To fields. I can also view the number of event deviations per flight phase per quarter. And finally, I see the 10 most common events. By selecting the filtering options at the top, I can narrow the results based on departure airport code, arrival airport code, flight number, and more. Another useful feature on this interface is the automatic calculation of my flight hours. The number of hours is also updated automatically based on the filters chosen at the top of the page. In conclusion, I really enjoyed taking advantage of Pilot My Flights.
He was Captain John Smith sharing his wonderful experience with Pilot My Flights. For more information, contact FDT at info@fdt.link.